you're live.
All right. Hello, Facebook Live. My name is Showbiz, Shelly, and I am in studio here with Danity, Kane.
Hi.
Hey, girls. Hey.
Hey.
This is so exciting. Shannon, Aubrey, Dawn, welcome to Kiss FM.
Thanks
for having us.
So, big show tonight at House of Blues.
Yes.
Tell me everything. The Universe's Undefeated Tour. Tell me first, talk about the show. Yeah, right? Talk about the show. Tell me, what can we expect?
Well, this round kind of are showing the things that everybody loved about us, the good old days, all the music that they loved. We also show the evolution of all of our projects, our solo projects, from Dawn's solo stuff to Dumb Blonde stuff, and then we go back into Danity, Kane. So you get a little bit of everything. A fan that has followed any of our career gets a little bit of all the music that they've loved along the way.
So let's talk about, because when making the band was what, 2004?
Five.
Right around there.
Four, maybe, actually. The
for
first
you.
one was
Yeah,
four.
four for her because she was on a previous.
The previous one, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and then came back. So I know. And
I was in the sauna with these two girls the other day, and they were like, said, "Oh, you're from Danity, Kane? Oh my God, I love the oldies."
What did you say?
I asked her if her tits were real.
say?
Just kidding. Actually,
No,
I
you didn't,
did.
kid.
I was gonna say, I bet you did. And what did she
I'm
say?
sure she did. She's not kidding.
Dude, we were sitting last night. We were at the game, and we were sitting with all the like Chicago Bulls.
I saw.
The Bears, sorry.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm just like not the biggest sports person.
Me neither,
So I'm
yeah.
so like horrible when it comes. So anyways, all of a sudden we turn around. We were just shooting the shit, like just saying the dumbest stuff, being so nerdy. And we turn around, there was like all these hot dudes behind us. We were like, what the hell just happened? So anyways, we come out, and one of the guys, he's like the star player that everyone in Chicago loves, and I didn't know that. And I turned to him, and he had a plate full of like every sauce, and I was like, well, you really got to check your breath with all those sauces on your plate.
Wait, who was it?
And he looked at me confused, and then the guy looked over, and he's like, does she know who you are?
I'm trying to know who it was, because actually we
It's a
were
big deal, apparently. I don't know.
Could it have been Khalil?
I put him on my
It's our
Insta
event.
story. They're
It
on
was
my Insta
hilarious.
It was
story.
either Jordan Howard or
Jordan
Tariq Cohen.
Oh.
Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
Tariq.
It was either that.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
funny.
Hi,
We-
Tariq. What up?
Hey.
Hope you got that breath
It was
in check.
I love it. So wait, okay, so yeah, we were talking about making the band. Tell me the evolution to how you guys got here right now. I know it's a long story. I know.
Evolution. I mean, the universe. That's why it's undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our journeys are so unique. I mean, Donna and I both danced for the NBA, and we actually had like a cross paths moment that we had, we didn't even know it, being dancers. And
Yeah, the Bulls dancers look good.
Aren't they
yeah,
good?
they looked fantastic.
Whoa, they look better than any of the other dancers I've seen in a game.
They're real
She hasn't
good.
been to a Blazer game. but-
She obviously hasn't been to one.
I haven't seen the Blazers either. They were killing
Shout out to
LA for
the
sure.
girls out there.
The girls did, you know that dead drop that Shangela does?
Oh yeah,
They
that
did the
was
dead
like
drop. The girl did like a round off into a split. Like
Yeah.
they weren't playing any game.
That's most.
They don't mess around. They're in
They
they're
don't do that in LA. Those chicks are.
It's a
their
different
audition
thing.
process
It
is no
is.
joke.
It's not a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's not a
it's
game.
not. Yeah, so, okay, so you guys very publicly went through a lot of stuff, but here you are, the three of you. Talk about how you got to this point coming here.
Oh man, that's pretty easy. I was like coming out of a gnarly relationship and in a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
And then I hit Dawn one day just because my therapist was kind of talking about when you have unresolved relationships that were toxic in your past and you don't resolve them, it kind of like weighs on your body and your heart and your mind. Like you start getting a chip on your shoulder about life and people. So I was just like really strongly thinking about who did I feel like went out in an unjust way that like I felt like I believed in enough that would like want the resolution and be like, you know, be in a spiritual mind to like execute it. You know, not everyone from my past I'll probably be able to mend.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my specific journey. And I hit up Dawn and we talked for 6 hours and then she just kept hitting me. We kept like, hey, Dawn and I were like just friends before we even reconnected all of this stuff. And then one day she hit me and was like, you want to go on tour? And it started like that.
Just that easy.
Yeah.
And the next month we're on tour.
Yeah.
And here you are.
I told Shannon just one show. And then
She
like
always does that. One
35
song,
shows
maybe
later.
3 songs.
We're going to do another,
Not
we're
video.
going to do just one more
6
song, girl.
videos. And I'm like,
But don't worry,
no.
we're going to do an album, but you
Don't
just have
worry.
to come in and
4
record
years
it for 2
and you're my
days.
age.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah. And
She
so,
secretly loves it, though.
oh, I bet.
Secretly. She ain't going to show you any of it right now. She's got gotta keep her stance strong in public.
I gotcha. So what's the biggest difference between now, between what's going on now? No, it's okay. What's the biggest difference between being in this band now versus before?
I'll just from my own journey
Yeah.
is just comfort, coming to our own. You know, we were so young, especially Aubrey, but we were so young when we started this journey. Like, just that time in life where you're still figuring yourself out. Like, I finally feel the age that I always felt, you know, and that's who I am now. I'm in my own skin, and I just think a lot of the chaos that we went through on making the band that Puff put us through, maybe we've come to terms with, and just
Who we are.
Yeah.
We're like relaxed in it.
Yeah.
You know, we don't feel like we're not obsessively trying to control the journey
Yes.
anymore, and we're just like out there. I think we have more gratitude for what we're given, you know. Before we could look at it like there needs to be 20 more people in the audience, and now we're like grateful for just every one person in the audience. Like, just we have more of like a peace with life, probably, I would say.
And I think I saw that you said you felt like the first time around that Diddy maybe didn't play as much of a part as he could have. And so is it better without it this time, without any presence like that?
I mean, Diddy's a massive star.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of power and connection, so it's always good, like, when you jump on a ship that he's orchestrated. But the ship only takes you so far if the person leading it isn't trying to get you to a destination. You know, it was his destination. It was never about ours. We were just like, you know, drowning in the sea. We weren't drowning in the sea. We were on a remote island that was beautiful, all of us on our own, and then he picked us up in a ship. But you know, we've all grown so far past what that was supposed to mean in all of our lives, and I think we all took the meaning for what it was and have fought it, come to terms with it, respected it, hated it, loved it, like every which way, I think, probably. And now we're just at peace with that part of our lives being over and the good and bad that came from it.
Because I remember when I watched the show, I remember thinking, he's so hard on you guys. Why is he being so mean? Like, I would get mad at him. So is it more freeing this time around just to be doing this on your own?
I liked that he was hard on us.
Yeah?
I don't think then, but like, what do you want to be with someone that's easy on you? How do you grow?
Yeah.
Good
There's
point.
a lot of times where I'll even
Especially at
reflect.
that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm glad he
Yeah.
put us through that, because
Like, I know people that worked for easy people, and I just watch them cut so many corners, and they don't know how to, like, get anything done without a team.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like, I have very little respect for it. I do think the ultimate person to lead the young minds is someone that is tough on you in, like, a non-toxic way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Diddy has a bit of the toxic energy in his step.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's probably better than having been led by somebody that was just nice and anything goes. We're all hustlers. We don't wait on anyone to do anything for us. And that's not a, like, common characteristic of people in this industry.
Yeah. Just to kind of get out, do it on your own, whichever way you can.
Everything on your own. We
Everything.
can do everything on our own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I know you said that you kind of had a transition after your relationship, which also I watched you on Famously Sing. I was obsessed with the whole thing, and so
I was too.
I know. And honestly, I was rooting for you guys so hard.
I was too.
I know. And so I know you said that you kind of worked through it with therapy, which I think is awesome, and I'm so glad that you talk about it. And so, is that something that you still kind of battle with on a daily basis?
The relationship, that relationship? Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's not in my past yet. It's not in my past as much as I would like it to be.
Mhm.
Did I just get a from you over there?
No, I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, you know, it's a hard one. It's very hard when you aren't communicating with someone, and then, like, it's being edited all over television.
Mhm.
That's difficult.
Obviously, so public.
Yeah, the public part I'm not, like, minding that much. I've been, like, babe, I've been put out in the street and run over, like, by a giant fucking, like, monster-sized bus so many fucking times in my life. I'm really not that stressed about this one.
Okay. Yeah.
But it hurts for the relationship and the friendship that I had with that other person, and, like, how, you know, dirty it's all gone down, and everybody becomes their, like, showman self when you get in the public world. Not us, clearly. Like, I think there's the bullshit has cleared a bit more with us. Always kind of was. But a lot of people tend to go to their character, and then their character like regurgitates in public. So I have to deal with like separating the character from what I know to be true, which is hard.
Yeah. But I would imagine that's probably the case with a lot of people who we watch on TV and stuff, right? They sort of have these dual personalities.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, I would imagine that it's nice to have at least your close friends around to kind of support. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they've gotten many 911s from me. Dawn's had to tell me Polly ain't shit like 800 times. She'll be like, what is this? I never had anything popping up on my timeline of this guy. I didn't even know who he was. And now there's like this kid with this weird hair all over my timeline. And I was like, isn't he so great? He's so amazing. And Dawn will be like, oh, girl, man, I left you for too long. You done went to the whack side.
So Dawn, you were just like, no,
She knows she's protecting me. You know,
and I wasn't really familiar. Oh, sorry.
She doesn't know his like career highlights of how many girls he's taken on the show and how many times he took his pants down. She wasn't familiar with how many Grammys he's won.
Yeah, I don't watch. I mean, we come from different cultures, different everything. I don't know him.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But I know if she chooses to love someone, then I respect it. But then when she's not with him no more, I don't really have anything else for him. No disrespect. I don't. I don't know you.
Yeah.
It's just like his whole cast came forward and were like running their mouth on me. I don't know any of them from a can of paint. Like. I've met one of them, and like I think she was like 3 sheets to the wind when I met her. So like I don't. Like they don't like you can't make comments on people you don't know. Dawn's been a great sister. She's had my back and she's protected me and trusted what she's trusted my experience that I've told her I had with it and protected me like a sister should.
I know her. I don't know him.
Yeah.
So I can only go from what she gives me.
Yeah. And it sounds like you guys obviously had, the conversation you had that you said talked for hours. So obviously something really good came from that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a shame.
We always were close. I think it's just, again, like we were young and we were in a situation where a lot of players, to be divisive is something that is powerful for especially people in power. They know fear is what motivates everything. And we see that from women. Politics to everything, especially women. And I think a lot of times when we talked, we realized there was a lot of people being divisive, telling us one thing, telling us who we should be, and for some reason people think women can't be multiple things. Like once, especially if you're a part of a group, and we just want those girls to ever believe that. And when you have a mouth and you believe you believe yourself to be more, you run into issues. And I think that we all come from different cultures, so we handle things differently. And we had to learn when we had that communication that I come from this, and when this happens, I react this way. And she says, well, I come from this, and that reaction is a bad reaction. And so as women, for the first time, which I think we should do more often, is we speak to each other. And we don't have to always come to common ground. We could be like, okay, well, I agree to disagree, but that doesn't mean we can't have a relationship. It doesn't mean we can't work together, and it doesn't mean we can't rule this thing together. And I think if more women did that. We both respect each other's talent. And that's what comes first when you're in a job with people that you're going on stage to be talented with. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. And then you realize that that's okay. You can be exactly who you are, and I'll love you for these moments, but I also understand where you're coming from. And that's something I think more women should do, because I think once we do that, you'll see how fearful men will really be, because they'll realize.
No offense to the men up in here.
No, men are, don't get twisted. Men are great. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that there are a lot of men in power who misuse the ability to have women around them, and they see them as a weakness instead of the reason they're there. And if you put more women in power and more women get that communication with each other, you might even see something even better and more compassionate and more empathetic than what you see right now.
Women in the public eye, they represent women whether they want to or not, and whether they even understand how much or not. And there becomes just so many boxes and so many ideas that get placed on you, but it takes us a while to find ourselves, men and women. And like and men too, it's like men have different guidelines that they have to operate by in society than we do, but there's plenty of pressure on men to be a breadwinner. I know men that are like really interesting, like amazing men that just don't make a lot of money in life, and they feel like a failure, and they're like a more successful human than half the men I know that have money.
It's just stereotypes.
There's a lot of boxes put on people. But like you just have to get right with yourself. And we were right with ourselves when we came back in it. And like still, it's not like we come back together and everything's just like this easy breezy picnic and now we're selling happiness. Like we're just on an everyday struggle. We learn each other more every day. I learn Shannon every day, and that's my family. Like, I mean, Dawn's my family too.
No,
but, like,
but y'all have been
Shannon and I
longer.
never seperated.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and we live on top of each
And that's
other.
the realistic approach.
We
is-
live on top of each other.
The expectation of perfection is just, it's not real.
No.
People
Yeah.
go into marriages, people go into relationships, whatever, brothers,
Yeah.
sisters, friends.
I get along best with Shannon of everyone I've ever met in my life, and don't get it twisted. We were out in the middle of a street in Chicago screaming at each other. Remember when my bag flew and then a cab ran over my hairspray?
Oh yeah. And I was like,
That shit combusted everywhere, like right in the middle of our fight. Like we don't fight.
know it's
I
lynched.
fight. I have very few disagreement. Like we don't.
Yeah.
We handle each other with a lot of respect.
Mhm.
If anything, Shannon's taught me that in life, patience, communication. We really like fool ourselves that it's much harder than it really is.
Mm-hmm.
It just
pride gets in the way most
pride
of
is
the time.
pride always stops anything positive from happening.
Ego,
The
yeah,
place of
absolutely.
happiness has to exist in vulnerability.
Definitely, yeah.
And everybody's so fucking scared of that. Vulnerability is like the most interesting. It's when you start to really live.
Yeah, I love it. Totally true. So the last thing I want to ask you, new music? Are we going to get new music from this?
We we always are working on new music.
Okay.
All of us
Okay.
together,
Guess you'll have to have
separately,
us
we
back.
all are always making new music.
I'll have you back whenever.
Yes.
Stay all
We love
day.
Chicago, so
Yeah.
God, we love
I
it.
love it.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you love it.
Yeah, it's when we go everywhere in the like Chicago, for me, Chicago's probably number one. I like Chicago better than New York.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why?
Chicago and Boston are like real close.
Because
for me.
Chicago has culture.
Yeah.
You know, and it's from the food to the people to the diversity to the
Mhm.
opportunity to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Just what you want in a city. I mean, if it wasn't a
People are
million
great.
negative in December
Oh,
and
yeah.
your whole life
Yeah.
is frozen, maybe this would be the
Cold months
ideal
You're
are
absolutely
really
city.
right. You're absolutely right.
That, that's the only thing
Good
that
weather
hurts you
in
guys.
Chicago is
that,
better
is
than
that,
LA.
that is literally the only thing that hurts Chicago is your negative 25.
Yeah.
Keep
It gets real bad.
When we
that-
got off the
is
plane though,
that
it was
wind.
brisk and like crispy.
Beautiful.
I haven't felt brisk and crispy for so long. LA is the same temperature.
Stick around here. You
Yeah,
can eat
but
brisk
that
and
brisk
crispy
is
every
crazy.
day.
Love brisk. It
Yeah,
thins you
sit
out
down.
a little, you know? Like
Oh,
LA,
yeah.
you
That should
feel a
now
little
take your
bloated.
whole
Like you can walk
soul.
outside of Chicago
like,
and
no.
get a face.
Oh, yeah. You feel
Real
real
soul
good.
is frozen. No, like don't pay. That's the only thing, and I think that's the
Botox
only thing
need
that
to
gets
freeze your
Chicago.
face.
Other than
Yeah.
that, it's great. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you guys like it. House of Blues tonight. Doors open 6:30. The Universe is Undefeated tour.
We have
Thanks,
our
ladies.
VIP tickets.
Thank you.
We opened up more VIP rooms. So.
Ooh,
Come
Yeah.
get your
good to
VIP.
know. Facebook, go.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, you guys. So great to see you.
Thank you.
There was